Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I talk about my diagnoses as having borderline personality disorder. I talk a lot about my personal experiences surrounding mental health. I try to wipe away the stigma of mental health and open to comments about other people who suffer themselves with mental illness. If you're new here, welcome! If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. Please join my channel. It's absolutely free and I'd love to have you. But before we begin, I have to let you know that I am not a therapist. I am not a therapist, nor do I have a degree in psychology. So I'm only coming on here as a patient of almost 20 years. I'm no longer a patient, but I'm only coming on talking freely about my own personal experiences as having borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit disorder, severe anxiety, crippling anxiety, social disorders, and my father was schizophrenic. My mother was narcissistic and abusive. My son has traumatic brain injury. So I cover a whole, and I've been sexually abused by psychologists. I cover a whole range of topics around mental illness. Now today's episode, or today's, I feel like these are episodes. Today what we're going to talk about is what not to say or do to a borderline, to someone who has borderline personality disorder. And I think this is very important because, I wish some people, that I've had to deal with in my past would know like how painful it is. I think some people think they're trying to help out, but you know what? Saying and doing these specific things that I'm going to discuss in this video is something that can really cause more harm to someone with this illness. Okay, it can cause more harm, and it's not helpful. I know that a lot of people have good intentions when they say and do these things, but no matter what their intentions are, it actually escalates the situation. All right, makes it much worse, escalates it. Now, one of the first things you should never say to a borderline when they're in that psychotic rage is calm down. All right, that's like the worst thing you could say to someone. Calm down. And people almost always say it yelling at the person. Calm down. It's like, I mean, isn't that kind of ironic that the person telling you to calm down doesn't appear calm themselves? They're kind of like upset and angry, like, calm down, Yeah, that's kind of ironic. But let me tell you something, that never works. That is totally dismissing someone's feelings, all right? Totally dismissing it, not validating that they're in a very upset, episodic mood right now, and what they really need is, like, because of this extreme fear of abandonment, what they really need is, understanding, compassion, support. And do you think that by saying calm down, that's going to give them understanding of how they're feeling? Do you think that's compassionate? Do you think that's a way to be supportive? It never works anyway. Telling someone to calm down. Yeah, think about a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum. If you just, your kid's banging on the floor like that and you say, calm down! Do you think that's going to help? So never say those 2 words, okay? Calm down, to someone who, like me, who has borderline personality disorder when I'm in a rage. That it's not going to work. What I'll talk about what is going to work too. Another thing that never ever works is like walking out. I've had enough of this, and then you leave. You don't even have to leave the house. If you just leave the room, the borderline will feel severely abandoned. I've had enough of this, or try to argue with the. That's not going to make the person feel validated, or cared for, understood. That's just going to escalate the problem. If you get upset yourself, you need to be the one who's calm. You don't want to escalate the situation by getting upset. You might feel upset. You could say, instead of you could say, I understand you're really upset right now, and this is very difficult for you, but I think we need to talk more at a different time than right now, when you're when you're feeling these emotions the strongest. You see what I'm saying? Instead of saying, there's no talking to you, or I'm not going to listen to this, the best thing you can do to someone is, one of the best things to say is, I'm really sorry you're feeling this way. I had a situation when I was a security guard at the Atrium Mall. It was an upscale mall in Newton. It had all these boutique shops, and of course I did a lot of customer service, and this one woman was really, really upset about something. Now, this was so many years ago, over 10 years ago, so of course I'm not going to remember what it was she was upset about, but she was going at me. It wasn't anything I did. I don't know what it was, but she was like really, really angry. She was yabby, like going at me like that. And I stayed very calm, and I looked at her and I said, I'm really sorry that happened. Whatever it was, because I can't remember. It was over 10 years ago. And then automatically, she just changed gears automatically. And she looked at me and she said, it wasn't your fault. And then right away, she just calmed down. All I said to her, all I did was show her compassion. I don't know what she was upset about, but I said, I'm sorry that happened to you. Even though I had nothing to do with what happened to this woman, right? But I showed her compassion and understanding. I'm sorry that this happened to you, And right away, she changed her tune. She calmed down. She said, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm the one apologizing. I didn't do anything wrong. And I think that's what that's, if you show that care and understanding in calm voice, don't tell the person like me, the borderline, to calm down. Don't tell them what to do, all right? You can say to them, I'm really sorry you're feeling that way right now. I can see that you're really upset about whatever they're upset about. And that just, that will, they'll sense, if you're sincere, obviously, they'll sense that, that you understand, that they're really upset, that, you feel bad. I'm sorry, you're so upset. That's, horrible. You're validating them. You're not telling them what to do. You're staying there with them. You're not leaving the room and saying, I've had enough of this, And you're and you're showing compassion. You're saying, I'm sorry that this happened to you. I'm sorry whoever your friend treated you like that. I'm sorry she said that. Even if in your eyes their friend never did anything wrong, you know what I mean? Even if the friend, whatever the friend said, in your opinion, wasn't anything bad, like, Jesus, the worst thing you can do is say, other than calm down, you're too sensitive. Whoa, you want to pour gasoline on the fire? Say those 3 words. You're being too sensitive, you know? Never say it, okay? Never say it. Instead, say, you know, I'm sorry that your friend upset you, because they're upset at their friend, right? If I'm upset at someone, I'm upset at them. That's how I feel, you know? I have a right to my feelings, don't I? Don't you have a right to your feelings? Well, I have a right to my feelings, you know? And if you said something to upset me, you know, you might say, Jesus, you're being too sensitive, you know? Stop overreacting. You're such a drama queen. Do you think that's going to help? Is that going to validate me? No. Is that going to show you have any understanding of me? No. Is that going to show you have any compassion for what I'm feeling right now in the moment? No. So how do you think that's going to help me? Duh. There you go. It might not matter, you know. Also, another thing is, you know, I don't think it's good to say, I'm sorry you feel that way, because sometimes people can take that as being like sarcastic. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like you're not feeling what you should be feeling. Instead, saying, I'm sorry your friend upset you, or your mother upset you, whoever it was, because it's true. If the person is upset, or I'm sorry I upset you. Don't say I'm sorry you feel that way, because a lot of times when someone says I'm sorry you feel that way, it's not a real apology. It's not sincere. It's kind of like putting the onus on them. Like it's, you know, it's their problem. Like, I'm sorry that you feel like that. Instead, if you upset them, you say, I'm sorry I upset you. Even if you think what you said, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't matter. Do you understand? It doesn't matter that you think, I didn't say anything bad. You still upset the person, okay? Do you care about this person? Then it should matter that what you said upset them. But I didn't say, don't argue. Just say, I'm sorry that I upset you. What I said upset you. I'm sorry. How? Why is that so difficult? Why? You know? It shows the person that you care. It shows you're validating the person's feelings. When you say, I'm sorry you're upset, that just doesn't validate the person, you know? It just trust me on this one, okay? Just trust me. When you say that, it doesn't really validate the person. It's really not a sincere apology. Also, you know, you should say, well, why do I have to apologize if I didn't do anything? If a friend said something stupid, why do I have to say I'm sorry? Because you're apologizing that something happened to the person you cared about. She got hurt, you know, and she's telling you she got hurt by her friend or her mother, whoever it is, you know. So it's not trying to say, you know, all you're trying to do is validate their feelings. You validate their feelings by validating that, what are they feeling? They're upset. Why? Why are they upset? Because a friend said this. You're not trying to analyze, you know, well, there's nothing wrong with their friend said. No, you're not trying to analyze it, okay? Don't. You're just trying to validate that they are upset. Why are they upset? Because you fill in the blank. Because their mother did this. Their friend said this. Their boyfriend did this. Their boyfriend, I don't know, said to someone, you have a pretty dress. Nothing wrong with that. That's a pretty dress you bought. Whatever. It doesn't matter what was said. What matters is validation and compassion. Validating the person is upset because someone else said something. You're not trying to reason that there's nothing to be upset with that. The guy just said it was a pretty dress. Get over it. No, that's not going to work. Listen to me. I'm a borderline. I'm telling you, I'm 58. I know what works with me, you know, and I think what works with me will help a lot of other people. And I think it will help other people involved with people like me. I'm just trying to help out. You can help out too in the comments. You can say what works and what doesn't work. If you've been involved, if you love someone with borderline personality disorder, or if you have borderline personality disorder, you can write and share what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I'm just saying what works for me. As I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm a almost 20-year patient. In the past, a person living with this condition all my life for 58 years, and I'm coming on and I'm telling you what's not effective and what is effective for me. And I think that can help you and the people that you are close to. So don't leave the room, okay? Even though you want to get away from someone screaming. Don't tell them to calm down. Don't tell them they're too sensitive or too dramatic. Don't tell them, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Tell them, I'm sorry that you're upset and hurt by what your best friend said or what your boyfriend said. Be calm, all right? Be calm, even if they're screaming their head off. Remain calm. Don't escalate the situation. Don't escalate it. Just listen. They just want to vent. That's how I do. I just want to vent. I just want to scream. I just listen and say, I'm really sorry that, that person upset you. I'm really sorry. What can I do for you? Do you need a hug? Something like that. Something calming, reassurance. That's the best way to do it. With that woman at the mall, that customer, she wasn't borderline. She was upset about something that happened to her. I had nothing to do with what happened to her, but she was yelling at me about the situation. And all I did was say, I'm really sorry that happened to you. And then she just calmed down and she looked at me and said, why? That wasn't your fault. She felt bad, Then she felt bad, She was giving it to me. And, So I hope this video has been helpful. I try to do these videos to bring more awareness to this, to mental illness, to help people with it, give people, throw ideas, not throw people, throw ideas at people that might be helpful. And always appreciate your comments, please. Tell me. Another thing, I love the comments. There's only one thing I ask in the comments. Please be kind to me and be kind to everybody else in the comments. Please show respect for me and everyone else. Just be kind. We can disagree, but we need to agree on being kind to one another.